I think there's a lot of nuance, and countries, foreign countries with apps, should be allowed to go to the worldwide marketplace, and citizens of every country should be able to access them. But there's a certain issue with TikTok.
Right. Yeah. And more so than the other social medias. And that's where I was going to lead to, because I know in our previous conversations, you've been really open about how they all do a little bit of tracking and do a little bit of poignant advertising. Do you think this could go with any other platform like Instagram or X or anything like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's not really about the tracking. I think all of these apps track us. The phones track us. There's a lot of tracking everywhere. We can't escape that. It's really about the mandate, the ideology behind, the ownership of TikTok and what the mission is, publicly stated. That it's this black box, open door kind of vehicle to be manipulating the minds of Americans, or North Americans, and pushing a political agenda, and they're doing it through the manipulation of young people's minds. So
right, and I want to revisit some of our previous conversations with you about it, and this has nothing to do with what Congress and the bill and all that, but just in general, this is one of the social media platforms you feel like parents should limit with their kids, and maybe give those reasons once again.
Well, okay. I mean, if you look at the owners of these platforms, look at Mark Zuckerberg. It's been reported, he doesn't let his kids use Facebook or Instagram at all. And there's, there's footage of him going back years with like tape on his webcams and microphone and stuff. Like, the owners of these companies know that they don't want their kids to be tracked. But it's not about the tracking. It's about the content, the exposure to the content. I think all the platforms, parents need to really understand what their kids are looking at, and not at a superficial 30,000-foot view. Like, oh, is this influencer they're following wearing, provocative outfits? I mean, really take a look at the messaging, look at a lot of it, spend some time, do some research. Like, what is being said? What are your kids actually following? Because they're gonna start, acting like these people. They'll start talking like them. They'll believe everything they say. And as well as I do, that a lot of these personalities online are paid to say certain messages. That's what this whole influencer game is. And, a lot of them are paid by political parties too. So, it's like nothing ever changes. Everything out there is a lie. All this messaging, like, it's just, you can't believe anything. So, no, it's important for parents to really know what their kids are consuming. Like, parents will put a lot of effort into overseeing what they're watching on TV, but then, they'll be happy to see their kid on the phone or the iPad for an hour straight because they get a little reprieve. But I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's what I think this all comes around to for me, too, is watching government do this, which, fair enough, if it's the right thing to do, good on you, or whatever your reasoning is for that. But it also reminded me this morning that it still comes down to parents, right? And that's the real issue here. If the kids weren't accessing it, or you knew what they were accessing, this wouldn't have to be done.
Exactly. Yeah. No, yeah. Don't let the apps parent your kids. You need to be involved. And I'm a recent dad, so...
So am I. Like, I got a stepson who's on his phone, and a lot of times I cringe at it. And then I've got a 3-year-old coming up too, and I worry about it too. So I think that's the overall messaging, and why I love having you on, John. You're very open and honest about this.
Yep.
But then it also comes around to the idea of, like you said, you limit what your kids watch on TV or a movie. We should be doing that with everything.
Yeah, I mean, again, just one final thought, if I may. Like, it's really the difference of, like, would you let your young child, pick an age, I don't care, would you let them watch adult content, or like there's an age where you let your kids watch horror movies or even action movies? You just, my daughter's 2 years old, and she loves Back to the Future, and she likes Ghostbusters, and that one was, I love Ghostbusters and Back to the Future, but that one was kind of like, should she watch this? Is this going to scare her? Fortunately, no, she loves the heck out of it. But like, you censor the content that your kids watch in terms of genres of movies, but then it's just open season on the internet. I don't think that's right.
Great point, John. Always appreciate our conversations and your insight. Thanks for doing this once again.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
And John Stebby, if you want to use his services, is the founder of Loudspace. They'll help you with your marketing and advertising needs as well. Always appreciate having John on the show. But now